Some of the most deeply satisfying moments of our ministry at Passion Life are not things that I or my executive leadership team are directly involved in, but rather our second and third and even fourth level of leadership impact and what they get to see happen around the world. For example, several years ago, we trained some pastors in Vietnam who then took the gospel of life up into the mountains to teach the Hmong people, completely different ethnic group of people, and help them to treasure human life and reject abortion and rescue their neighbors and experience and share God's forgiveness with the people up there. Another great moment was when Chinese pastors went up to the highlands to the Tibetan people and began to do the same thing there. And now I want to show you what's just happened in the last couple of weeks. Our pastoral staff leader in Colombia had the opportunity to go into the Amazon part of Colombia. Very, very in dense forest. It's the Amazon, for goodness sakes. And was able to train pastors and leaders in the Amazon who are now talking about where they're going to go upstream and through all these rivers and take it to all these different tribes, bringing the gospel of life there. Let's hear that story from Anderson Ocampo, who just returned from there.
My name is Anderson, and I'm a Christian leadership pastor trainer in PassionLife Ministries. In our most recent trip to the Amazons, the Colombian Amazons, the team in Latin America had the opportunity to minister, to teach the four questions to three different communities, indigenous communities of the country. Me and Naidu, Dr. Naidu, is the director of the Bible Society and is very well connected. And thanks to one friend in the Bible Society, his name is Javier, we have been able to penetrate actually three different communities. Number one is called Macedonia. Could say that they are very well organized, very hardworking people. You can see in these pictures how they dress in order to receive the tourists, and that's part of how they live, how they do their living. And by the first time, I would dare to say, by the first time in their history, they are exposed to a teaching from the Bible on the worldview of life from conception, for life from the womb, and the shedding of innocent blood. We had amazing responses. They were tears and this excitement of a few leaders. In particular, I want to highlight the story of Hober. This guy, this is a co-pastor, a youth leader in this church in Macedonia, and he said when after the training, because we had a session by night, another session in the morning, after the training, he said, I was looking for something like this, and I just found it. I will take the four questions and I will bring with me to other communities that are in front of the river, which is Peru, and in the back, which is Brazil, and this pastor, he takes 17 hours by boat to bring the gospel to other communities. And so he said, I will commit to teach the four questions because we have a lot of youth people. We have a lot of need to cover on this issue, and we are very happy to find the leaders. Sometimes we are surprised by God that He just brings the right people, the right person, able to get it, to cut the passion, to get the teaching and say, I can do this. I can do this, and with the material you're giving to me, I will do it. You can see in these pictures, Dr. Naidu, she is with one of the women, and she's dressed in her typical, that's how we call the typical style, and they have this barn, big houses like, and they call it maloca, and they receive the tourists, and they perform an act, they dance, and they sell their handmaiden stuff, very beautiful, gorgeous stuff, and that's part of how they do the living besides of fishing. So I think that, and this woman was very, very touched. She was singing and she was crying, and she was so happy to receive this message from the Bible, from the four questions, to receiving forgiveness. One of the things she said is that she knows that in her family this has happened before, but they never talk about it. It is a silent, a secret, And thanks to this message and the powerful story of Naidu, telling her testimony, this woman is now convinced, and she said that she received peace. So this is a powerful story too about her work in the Amazons. Please pray for this, as these people receiving this conviction that they want to value life, and now they have a response from the Bible. One of the things also that I want to highlight is that they have a school where they bring these little kids from 8 to 15 years old. They very troubled kids with problems from home. They don't have parents, some of them. And we had the opportunity to minister to them. And because we didn't have the video being, we used the images that the holograms showing the gestation history of the baby, and the board drawing pictures. Sometimes they are ugly pictures, but people love it because they feel that they can do it. And that's what we want. We want to multiplicate, we want to replicate ourselves in a way. We want to find our leaders that they say, if they can say, I want to do this, and I can do it because you are giving me the material. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this highlights some of the stories. But I think that leader is a powerful story. And thank you so much.
Hearing this story and seeing the pictures, this is part of the most exciting part of my life when I see us having that kind of impact through these second and third generations of leaders. Anderson mentioned several times the gospel of life as we teach it to other people. We call it the 4 questions that answer and explain the gospel of life. I'd like to encourage you to go and download the 4 questions on our website, or the leader's guide of teaching the 4 questions, and begin to take this to your Sunday adult class or your home group yourself, so that we continue to see, not only in faraway places like the Amazon, but in local neighborhoods, among all those who are partnered with us at Passion Life, to bring the gospel of life to more and more people. If you do this, let me know, because I think you'll see an impact as well. And I'd love to hear your story as we move forward in this great work. Thank you very much.